Welcome to the Cross the Line podcast. I'm Carlos Smith. Today I have some special guests with me. I don't know everybody's name, so Brittany, I'll let you introduce the crowd.
Well, I am Brittany Rogers. This is
Amber. Kim, known as Kate Drizzle. Jasmine. Kayla. Olivia. Chelsea. Jessica. Lisa. Shatina.
And can you ladies tell me what is the concept of Black and Beautiful?
well, I can speak for me. I just feel like us as women, not necessarily black women, but us as women in general, we all have some kind of flaws about us. It's something that we don't like about ourselves. We pretty much look in the mirror and we can tear ourselves down before society can tear us down. I know from my background and my past, I was so used to my dad telling me that I was beautiful that when he passed away, I kind of lost sight of that. So I pretty much started to accept some of the things that I shouldn't have accepted. Anybody else have any insight?
So how did anybody say anything else? You get ready to say something.
I would just say as women, we sometimes tear ourselves down. I just want every woman to feel like they're fearfully and wonderfully made. Like we were made by God, and if He made us and we're made in His image, that we're all perfect no matter what society says. We're beautiful in our own way, no matter what our skin color is, no matter what our body size is. Us as black women, we're strong, we're independent, we're beautiful.
It's a fact. How long have you guys been doing this event?
This is something that I recently just started. I pretty much just stepped out on faith. It's something I always wanted to do. And it was recently a comment that was made about black women, that all black women couldn't be beautiful. And it really made me step out on faith to show black women that we're all beautiful in our own way. Like I said, we're wonderfully made. God made us in His own image. So with that, we should just embrace each other. Tell another woman how beautiful they look today. It's okay to give compliments and tell each other, good job, congratulations on that promotion. We should all support each other and uplift each other. And I feel like if more women really got involved and congratulated, people around them, we wouldn't have so many insecurities that we face now as women.
Okay, Jill.
What's going on?
I need you to tell me, what does this event mean to you?
And being dark skinned, that is somewhat emphasizing at work or even when we was in school. But with me, you can't outbeat me. I know I'm pretty, and anywhere I'm gonna go, if I'm heavy set, I'm gonna step. Ain't nobody gonna be like, oh, she's just a big black girl. No, I'm gonna be the nice looking, big, dark skinned black girl, and that's what I'm gonna be. And growing up, it's not just, dark and it's always on this light skin versus dark skin. But it shouldn't be. We're all free. We're all beautiful. But it goes back in the day to, the light skin woman was the one that stayed in the house back in slavery. They was the house women, and the dark was the one that was outside. It caused a lot of conflicts. That's why they speak for me. I used to with growing up now.
There was one of my questions actually was for all of you if you want to chime in. Does that bother you when people say you're pretty, you dark skinned?
Oh, it bothers me. It bothers me because what's a dark skin? I can't be pretty.
And I would say it bothers me as well. I just feel like it shouldn't matter the color of my skin. Why can't I just be beautiful for who I am?
I'd really say that I look at it as an ignorance on that person. Complexion doesn't define beauty whatsoever. So if you have that feeling, I'm not going to feel any type of way about it. I'm sorry that you haven't been exposed to beautiful women of all complexions. But just because you feel that way, it doesn't make me feel like I'm any less of anything, honestly.
Since we're talking about appearance, does it bother any of you when you see other females get surgery to enhance their body? Does that bother you ladies at all?
To me, I just say to each his own.
That person feels better.
It's a song by Beyonce that I really like. It just says, pretty much pretty hurts. And when you listen to the words of that song, it's really deep. Like we do so much to change ourselves just because of a comment that somebody made about us. Because our skin is too dark, why we would want to go and get our skin lightened. It's just different things that, we face as women that we shouldn't let society change us on. Like, let's just stick together and be beautiful for who we are.
What are some other things besides appearance that women go through on a daily basis? Us as men, we may not know.
I say, because I know each of these women really well, and through conversations, it's just also things I would say, like in relationships. We've all been through some difficult relationships that have pretty much changed a lot of us. I would say, for me, I just have a difficulty, trusting people. So it's just trying to get myself back to that point. Everybody is not the same. I know every man is not the same. How can I trust again? Anybody else?
Same question again.
What are some things that women go through that us as men may not know?
I would say also trying to not be the angry black woman in the workplace.
Oh God, that's what I'm like.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I deal with that on the regular basis because it's another black woman in there, but they don't nick and pick and they nick and pick. It's like, oh, she does this, or just say if they're doing something and you do it, oh, we're gonna report you because you're doing it. But the Caucasian women, they're not gonna say nothing to them, or they're nick and pick with you until you never let them have it. It might be a few curse words. And I'm trying to change it about myself. I'm trying to change the point of letting somebody have it without having to cuss it.
You kind of jump right to my next question, but it's for all of you again. Do you think y'all have a different struggle from white women?
I would say yes, definitely. I feel like, again, in the workplace is one of the main areas that you see this. From my experience, I feel like a lot of things were kind of like what Kendra said, looked at a little bit differently, because not only am I young and black and have a higher position, they're going to look at you as like, how did you get this position? You're not smart enough to be here.
I've been told that I should come
Why
here.
isn't the manager a white woman?
Yeah, always so.
They look at you that way, even though you're the most educated person. Yeah, just as educated, if not more educated, than the people that your fellow coworkers, the people that you're working with.
And I'll just chime back on what Olivia said. Me and her have the same position. So, we're both really young. We're both African American, and to be in the positions that we're in, people look at us as, why are you in this position? Where's the manager? And you're like, ma'am, I am the manager. And they take you, as a joke. But I feel like we're strong. Like, us as black women, we're strong women. We have the power in our hands. I feel like I've been in some positions where, somebody didn't want me to have it, but then again, I overcame that, and I got the position anyway. So I feel like sometimes we just have to work a little harder.
The one thing about this, what's yours is gonna be yours.
Yep.
Nobody can't take it from you. Ain't no man or woman can't take it for you. What God got for you, planned for you, it's gonna be yours.
It's gonna be for you. Yep.
That's interesting because some of the things for us as well, being in the journalism and the media, what I find interesting when we used to go to the games, you don't see a lot of people in the media covering sports with us. So when we go to these games and they give us the credentials, they look at us weird, like, wow, we even here. Like, they want to make sure that we have our credential around our neck so we belong there. And even for black women in that field, it's not a lot of black women covering sports. Actually, one lady that gave me some great advice, she wrote an article about it saying that, for women, it's tough for women to get in sports anyway, but in general, but black women, it's not. Like, you may go to an event, it's only like two or three of them. So, and she just talked about the different things that they have to go through to break down those barriers. But what are some of the things that you ladies have to, what do you do to try to break those barriers?
I guess because how I was raised, my parents just raised me to, no matter what society says, Brittany, always do the best you can. When you walk into a job, if you walk into an interview, no matter what you are, if you're a janitor, if you're a cook, no matter what it is, whatever gift God gave you, you go in with the best of your ability. So I never let society tear me down. If I didn't get the job, then I'm not going to get discouraged. I'll apply again for the next one because what God has for me will be for me.
So in totality, all of y'all believe that women are shortchanged for job opportunities?
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
It's for all women. That's not just only.
Not just African American
These
women.
women in general, right? Yeah, fact. Do you think, I don't want to get too political, but do you ladies think that if Hillary had become president, a lot of things would have changed?
Yeah, no, but it's still in those offices, they still congressmen or houses of racist individuals that's still in there. She could, like when Barack was in there, he couldn't push nothing in there because everybody in the seat was still Republican and they didn't want to push it. They didn't want, oh no, you're a black man, we might have been prosper. So it's them in the seat.
But clearly we see with this president that we have now that
they agree with it, they all for
everything.
Why you get disrespected now these days? They do all kinds of stuff now these days.
Do y'all truly believe that the reason she lost maybe been because she was a woman, or what do you think? I think they think so too.
I don't think she lost because she was a woman. I feel like because of what we came from with Barack Obama being our president, I feel like a lot of people were upset with that. And I think that drove a lot of people to vote for Trump because he was so against what Obama had done in the past. So I don't think it was necessarily because she was a female. I just don't think the Democrats would have won at all. So no matter who they put in that position, I think Donald Trump would have won anyway.
But I think this would have been a unique time to, at least make that transition from, okay, we have a black president, to now let's try a female president. But we did something different. We went from celebrities who had no experience to getting in office.
Yeah, I know. I got a chance here.
It's a fact.
I got a chance. But the thing is, it just show how some simple-minded. She was always my friends. I always speak to her. I was on the phone. My mom was outside picking up, picking up grandmas about the money in the house. She walked up and gave my mom $300. So not all Caucasian people are racist. I didn't want to put that out.
Of course,
I didn't want to put that.
Yeah.
Some of them are good. Some of them help us out more than our own color.
It's a fact. But it's not all of them, but when you see...
Some of them, the majority of them,
because it makes you wonder when you see somebody who's blatantly racist, and let you know how I think about women. Like, he thinks he can grab women by...
and they still vote me.
They still vote for him. So what does that say about society when you see how he feels about women and people in general when he says stuff like that? What does it say about society?
He's getting everybody. And I try not to watch there's some African American people on board with what he got going on. Mm-hmm. And that's the sad part about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, for you? And
really not for some of his own people either.
The local Africans, they all for it, but he's not for them. He's all for rich and high and mighty. And I think a lot of rich black people voted because they thought that, Texas, they were big on Texas. I know a lot of African American people that voted for him. I'm like, how do you thought that it's gonna be okay to vote for the situation that probably hurt my feelings was immigrants. Immigrants gonna help us out a lot. If they want to come here and make a better life for their matter of fact, America was stolen by that was our Indians' land. Indians, that was their land. Caucasian people came over here and took something that didn't belong to them. This is not their land. They came from England, everywhere else overseas. So Yeah, Donald Trump, you're an immigrant. Go back to your ancestry. You're an immigrant. Your wife is an immigrant, and your ex-wife is an immigrant. So how are you gonna sit there and tell somebody they can't come over here and work?
But it's scary. What else is scary is if he can win this way, it makes you wonder, like, if he ends up running again.
I think they might. It's a scare. I might think they might, try to vote back in because it's scary how in the past year things has changed. You see now these videos on Facebook that these officers just grabbing these. It was an old lady I seen just tackling her down. They was just big speeding ticket, grabbing kids, shooting people in the car while the kids in the car, and they told you that it was a gun. I got a licensed gun. I got a licensed gun. I'm gonna put my hands up right here. The man tried to put his hands up. You shoot fire while his child is in the back seat. It's scary.
It is, and I think we all really need to get out here and like take voting serious. Like we take it as a joke sometimes. Like we all need to get registered to vote. And in the society that we live in right now, we all really need to be prayed up.
The only thing is, man can't change that. The only person who can change is God.
Yes.
But I think once people realize that it not only hurts us, but it's hurting their people as well, then maybe that'll cause change. But we'll have to see. But another thing I want to talk about is the Me Too movement. Do you ladies feel like it's working?
I think some people taking it to trying to get people into trouble, but I agree with what I've seen. I don't have, as a matter of fact, can I have a Me Too movement against women? Because this is this gay girl at my job is trying to holler at me, and I'm like,
I feel like it's working, but it's also giving people kind of leverage to like get one up on the next person and try to like get money. Because some people are making false allegations just to kind of like make a come up, basically.
that's what I'm
And so I feel like for the people who actually were like abused or whatever, it gives them a voice to speak up because I know I'm not alone, and whatever happened to you, I can relate to that, and it gives me a voice to speak up about my situation. But some people are kind of like taking it for granted as well.
That's what I want to know, because it's like, don't attack me. I just want to know, are we headed down a slippery slope where one person can say, this person touched me, and then after that somebody else jumps in, then another person, are we headed down a slippery slope where he's easily, and I'm not trying to discredit anybody who's doing it,
I don't think so, because if I feel like if a man touched one person, they deserve whatever is coming to them from that. Now, as far as multiple people coming forward, whether it happened or not, honestly, they shouldn't if it really didn't happen. But to me, it doesn't make the man any less or any better, whether it was one person or 5 people. You know what I'm saying? So even if a man felt like he could approach one female in that way, he deserves whatever time that he has to get. So yeah,
it's most definitely wrong. But I just, it makes me wonder, because even if they say he allegedly touched somebody, public opinion says you're guilty, and that sticks with you wherever you go. That's what I'm like.
Yeah, that's like I hate like when you did touch somebody trying to some of them, I'm like, dang, he's in my book free. I'm like, what? But the thing is, you don't know people either in real life. You don't know what they're capable of doing. Yeah. So, and then a lot of people, they in these entertainment, and they in these houses, he can't do it. He didn't do that. He don't know what he did. Because he got money, it don't mean nothing. He probably is like, what's the name of Harvey Weinstein?
He's sick.
Yeah, he's sick. And he was causing people that, was it Terry Crews that he touched on him or something like that, or somebody else?
Terry Crews got touched on him.
Yeah.
but I feel like that's where black people get the lower hand, and with the judicial system, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. So I definitely see what you're saying, where if someone brings forth these allegations, they're automatically looked at as guilty, and they're not given that chance to prove themselves. So I can see where you say there is a slippery slope, but I do feel like black people are automatically guilty before they're even able to present their case or even
Y'all encourage women once it happens to speak out on the situation?
Yeah. What you can do is in her life is manifest other ways. You can manifest agree all the time, or let's just let it out there, because you never know, somebody else might be through it. We have like grief groups and stuff like that. You never know, talk to other people. I know somebody can get through it. And I don't want to put it out there like that, but they go talk to other people, put them grief groups and different stuff. Dealing with this once you hold it, you internalize it, it manifests in your behavior.
I actually sat down with a couple of weeks ago when I was at school with Tarisha McKinstry. She wrote a book about it. And she said she really didn't know that she was being molested until she watched Ayana Fix My Life. And when she saw it then, she was like, hey, that happened to me too. But so she held it in for so long that she was actually depressed and she even tried to kill herself. So it's like, and you never know what somebody's going through. You never know.
You never know.
That's true.
And the way she carried herself, like every time I saw her, she was like a down to earth girl. But she was like, you know, some of the things I went through made me take my life.
Carrying the burden aside.
Yeah.
Do you ladies think that we take in society we take women for granted? Anybody want to elaborate on it a little bit more?
Of course. I mean, sitting here with you guys, I'm sure you have taken a black woman for granted at some point in your life.
Yes,
but it was your
have.
mother, your aunt, like somebody, you've taken them for granted. And I do feel like it goes back to black women having to just be strong about everything. We don't have time to get in our feelings or be sad because we got to move on and take care of the family or whatever it is that we have to do. So yeah, I definitely think we're taken advantage of, taken for granted. But I also feel like black women are kind of gaining that confidence in themselves to where they're no longer putting up with it. And I think we're going into a good place. Even us sitting down right now and doing this, my mother and her group of friends would have never done anything like this, you know, to sit down and say my black is beautiful. So I think we're moving in a really good direction.
What else can we do to change how women are viewed in society?
Like I was saying earlier, just the whole empowerment thing. Like us as women just continuing to get together and encouraging one another. You know, when something good takes place in somebody's life, being there to support that woman. If a woman is looking nice today, say, you know, you look beautiful today. Everybody, like you said, goes through things that we don't know about. Like sometimes I smile on the outside, but nobody knows my true pain that's on the inside. So when somebody comes up to me and says, Brittany, you look beautiful today, you know, you don't know the demons and the battles that I was facing, how that changed my day around. And we've all been through some low points in our lives as women, not just as black women, that we go through sometimes. So sometimes we just need that encouragement from other people, other women, to just let us know that, you know, we're all here for you. You're going to get through it no matter what you're going through.
It should be more than just a conversation because we see how, I'll use sports-related term with Colin Kaepernick, how he took a knee and he said he gave the reason why he took the knee, but they clearly shifted the narrative and said it's about the flag. It's more about just speaking about it.
I got into one of my posts about it.
Oh, and I think it's okay to care about the flag. That's okay. You can have your opinion. You can feel like he should take a knee out of respect for the flag. However, you don't dismiss the real reason of why he took that knee. You can have that opinion, and that's fine. But he's kneeling because of the injustices to black people when it comes to law enforcement. Where's that conversation? You know, don't have the knee flag conversation without the other conversation.
But see, we get it. It's just
I feel like you pay all these football players all this money, but you don't want them to stand up for themselves. You want them to make you money, make you look good. But don't you yell. I will find you.
makes no sense.
As long as you make money from me, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I actually asked Trevor about the same thing, and he was saying that, you know, I asked him the big misconception about athletes, and he said they think they're stupid, that they're just supposed to play ball, and instead of like taking stance on social issues. And he said a lot of them probably don't do it because they don't want to lose their fan base, like saying a white athlete. That's why some of them may not chime in because maybe they don't want to lose their fan base. But some of them, and I appreciate the ones who do it because they know why he's tapping into the need. But you know, it's just like all about just taking action and just showing instead of just shifting the narrative. Instead of, we need to have the conversation, but also take action and show why it's important. Which brought me up another question I want to ask you ladies about. Have you all thought about starting like an empowerment group? Because I'll give you an example. I think it'd be dope to see if you ladies had something like a sister circle or the View, the Talk, or the Real, like where you ladies just get together and have like a daily or weekly show where you just talk about some of the things that you all go through as women. Have you thought about doing something?
We haven't necessarily as a group talked about it, but I did have some conversation with Olivia where I was telling her that I wanted to get inside the churches and just, have sessions on being fearfully and wonderfully made. I get on social media and I see some of my younger cousins who don't feel beautiful as black women, and how can we encourage them if we're broken and we're torn? How can we get to a place that we're fixed, that we can encourage the people that's looking up to us? So it's just all about just trying to get stronger and encouraging everybody that we can. But I think the first place that we need to really start is within our churches.
We also had a conversation, as I had an idea, mentioned it to Brittany, is for all of us at some point to get together and have like an empowerment event just with us first to kind of start it out. And whether it be just like writing down something, like I look and write down something that I think is amazing about Brittany, and everybody do that and just put it in a hat and everybody pull out those words of encouragement. Because sometimes you may look, like Brittany was saying earlier, you may look at yourself in the mirror and we are our biggest critics. We can find the biggest flaws within ourselves, but somebody else can look at us and think that's the most gorgeous part of us. So I was thinking that would be something. Obviously we hadn't got it in the works yet, but I would love to do something like that, because I know that things that I feel terrible about myself, people tell me all the time it's beautiful about me, and I want to be able to give that to somebody else.
I think it'd be good to see something like that. I actually remember seeing a while back where all of you may not know Renisha, she's Jenkins now, but she was talking about it one time doing some kind of a blog where she would have women come in and just have like a chat. I wish y'all would reach out to them and also to men, so we can kind of understand and see some of the things that you're going through, and just because it'll be interesting to see what it's like, some of the daily things that you talk about and things that you deal with, and just kind of like just be like a stress reliever for you all as well.
I haven't thought about women, but I have thought about starting like my black girls route with young girls, because that's where it starts. And if we when they're young, we can prevent some of these insecurities as women as they get older. So I wanted to start with my church reading, so we should get together and talk about that.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Jaleesa's not here, but me and her just had a conversation. I know she won't mind me saying this, but she just talked about herself, as a child and the color of her skin, and how, somebody would call her dark and it would just make her cry. And it's so many young girls who are out here just because their skin is darker that they don't feel beautiful. How can we make, those young girls feel beautiful again? So I really feel like getting together and starting that movement will really change a lot of, society and how our young girls grow up thinking that they're not pretty enough or not good enough because their hair may be too short or their hair is kinky, but letting them know that they're beautiful in their own way.
I want to get everybody involved before we wrap it up. What's something that each of you have things that's misunderstood about you all? Let's start with Amber.
Say the question again. What's something misunderstood?
That you think people misunderstand about you?
You can start with me. My name is Jasmine. I feel like a lot of people misunderstand me because they say that either I'm mean or she just, I don't know, I guess got a big mouth because I'm opinionated, and if I feel any type of way about something, I will express myself. And I feel like as a black woman, sometimes they want to take our voice and they don't want us to say how we feel or have an opinion about anything. And I'm the type of person, I'm not going to bite my tongue. If I feel any type of way, I'm going to express it to you in a very polite way, but I'm not going to hold back. And so some people, I guess, take that as you being angry or you're mean or something like that. But
sometimes the truth hurts, and there are people out here who are very open with expressing themselves. There are people who can receive it wrong, so that's why she, like she said, co-signing, like it's ways to deliver messages to somebody to help them understand versus just throwing it out there and they're receiving it the wrong way.
I think for me, I'm misunderstood in the way that I'm very quiet. They probably don't know, but I'm very quiet, and so sometimes it's taken as speak, but I'm not at all. So I have to explain myself in that way, and in the workplace a lot. Just things they say, or people try to come at me wrong, but then when I speak on it, they don't bother me. So
I would say that.
I'm always quiet to say, oh, well, she has an attitude, she's stuck up, or she came the wrong way.
I also sit with my arms crossed. I'm struggling now. So I'm people think I'm stand out or not approachable or unapproachable. Very approachable, nice and sweet. You know, just like that. So yeah, I try to watch that. It's hard though.
And I'll piggyback on what she said about the whole stuck up thing. I'm more reserved to myself. So people say, oh yeah, she's stuck up. But when you get to know me, you'll know that I'm a really sweet person. But people don't take that on that.
For me, I would just say, sometimes I'm at work and people will be like, your life is so perfect. This is so perfect about you, because when I come into work, I kind of try to drop like all my personal issues that I have going on at the door. But, when I talk to those people, I tell them, you don't know, my story before I got out my car and I walked in this door. Even though I may not show you right now and I seem to be strong and I'm standing here, you don't know the tears that I cried before I walked in. So, it's not that I'm perfect, but I truly believe in God and I put all my faith in Him. Things do happen in my life. I do go through things, and even though I carry a smile, there's some pain behind some of the things that I've been through. But like I said, in everything that I do and everything that I always do, I'll always keep God first no matter what it is. So, behind that smile is some things that have happened in my life that have went on. But through it all, I know it's God is awesome and He's able.
That's why I'm all about respect, because you never know what somebody's going through. And it's that one thing I say over and over in my interview. It could be that one thing that when you speak to somebody, it makes their day. Or if you speak to them, if you say the wrong thing to them, they could just flip. So it's like you really need to.
Your words are truly powerful. Like what you say to somebody can change somebody's whole vibe. Like that person that you may have just talked to crossing the street may have been about to go and kill themselves, but it's something that you said to that person that made them think that I am wanted, that I am loved. How can we continue to encourage people?
I need you ladies to vote on this one. You all know. But who is the mother of this group? The one who makes sure everybody's in check and everything, keep everybody level. Do you think you ladies have, we're almost done, just a few more questions so y'all can kind of loosen up. Do you ladies feel like y'all have found your true calling in life?
For me, I say I have. I actually spoke at a church event maybe about a month ago, and I just feel like I have the gift of encouragement. It may not be something big to somebody else, but I just feel like I have a way with my words that I'm just happy to encourage somebody else. I just want to, be able to tell somebody something and change their whole person's perspective around. How can I go out and just continue to encourage and change somebody else's life? Even if sometimes I can't encourage myself, I can always go and encourage Kendra, or Amber, Olivia, and all these other women out here, even if I can't find time to encourage me.
Have you found your true calling in life? Still trying to figure it out?
I know I haven't. Now that I have a daughter, I really feel like that's a part of my purpose, and making sure that she grows up and doesn't, like you said, have some of these same insecurities that we have. But when it comes to like fully knowing my purpose, I feel like that is still up in the air, and I feel like it's sometimes ever changing, because who I am today is not who I might be next year. So I feel like we have to constantly be self-aware of who we are and where we're trying to go, but also being okay with if something does happen, maybe us changing our path and leading us down in a different direction.
For the mothers in the group, what's the toughest thing about motherhood?
For me, it's balancing working and being a full-time mom and also having a life with my friends as well. I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and so when I get off work, I pick up my daughter, and it's me and her all day. And so it's like Monday through Friday, I'm all in mommy mode. And then maybe like every other weekend, I may try to get with my friends and we'll go places and do things, because I feel like that you have to have a balance. You can't always just be work, mom, you know. You have to have a balance and also have a life.
I don't piggyback on that because I'm the same way. It's always me and Caitlin. And while I'm in that mode, I feel like nothing's wrong with that. She's gone for the summer now, and I really have time for struggle finding things to do. Like, I have no life outside of her. And it hurts, really. It does, because it's like, hey, she's not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever. You have to have a balance. And I'm struggling with it.
I agree. You got to have a balance. For me, I'm always with my kids because I'm a stay-at-home mom. And with that, it can sometimes be frustrating. And with me living overseas, I always have to find alone time. But yeah, that was just to piggyback off of them.
I think the biggest part about being one, I had to learn a lot of patience. It's a lot of responsibility, because it's not about you anymore. You have your child to think about, because kids, they don't get to choose their parents. So sometimes they're born into unfortunate situations, and it's just one of those things where you just have to, for me, you have to man up and take care of responsibility. Because when my children were born, I was actually still in college, and I was wild. I was cutting up, and at the time I wasn't really ready. But my dad gave me the best advice. He sat me down and he told me, we love you, we're going to help you, but you just take care of your kids, because I didn't leave y'all when y'all were little, so I don't expect you to leave them. So it's just all about, just handling responsibility, take care of your kids, make sure they have the best quality of life possible. And that's actually another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I just had to pursue my passion and do something that I really love doing, because I knew if I can follow my goals and achieve my dreams, I know they can do the same thing. And I just didn't want to settle for a paycheck, and I didn't want them to do the same thing, just going to school, get a good job, and just get a paycheck, and then they do the same thing for their children on down the line. I wanted to at least let them know that if they follow their heart and do what they truly love, then it's all good with that.
That's a challenge in itself, because, choosing you and your dreams is hard when you have kids, because you have to make decisions for them, you have to make decisions for yourself, and you have to make sure that they're going to benefit. And so sometimes it takes sacrifices, and sacrifice is hard. When you have kids and this is what I want to do, but I have a child, I can't move away. Although I did not want to live in Union, did not want to live in South Carolina, I have a child now, so I have to make a sacrifice. So it's hard to choose yourself sometimes.
Any ladies making the sacrifice that you had to make along the way, even if you don't have children, it's something you had to sacrifice. Somebody had something.
Well, I had to sacrifice overseas, not being with family and friends, but being with my husband, and my husband being in my kids' life, I felt that that's more important than me being with my friends. So overseas with him, so that he can be involved in their life.
And not a couple more questions. I want everybody to answer this. Who's that one person, or it can be more than one person, that's made the biggest impact on your life?
They are different. My mom and my grandma, they instill so much in me that they don't even know. So if certain things that go on in my life, I go to them because they know, or they don't been there. So the women in my family, they make me who I am. And the reason I'm here and the reason I do certain stuff is because of
I would say for me, my parents, my dad is now deceased. But, growing up, I always had my dad in my life. He was one of my biggest supporters. Anytime I did something great, the whole world would know because my dad would brag and tell everybody. And still to this day, I just picture him up in heaven. Every accomplishment that, I go through, my dad is always going to be one of my biggest supporters. But my mom has had to really step up and be that strong woman. It's been plenty of times that she just wants to break down and cry. But for me and my brother, she's just always strong. Like, she lets us break down. She lets us cry. And she's just always that shoulder to lean on. So for my mom, I've gained so much from her. I love her with my whole heart, and if I could ever repay her in any way, I would. Like I said, my mom is just my biggest supporter. If it wasn't for my parents, I really wouldn't be where I am today.
A lot of people think my mama sacrificed a lot for me, so I can never pay her back for what she has done for me. So the respect and the love I got from my mama will always be the case. And some of the stuff that to this day she don't have to do, but she still do it because the love that she has for me. So the love I have for my mama is unbelievable in my grandma.
I would piggyback and say my parents have been a great impact in my life. When you're young, as a child, you don't really take in the things your parents are trying to teach you until I became a mother myself. At 19,
It's okay. And I just really feel, Shatina, you get so emotional when you talk about those people in your life that mean so much to you, your parents, and you just want to love on those people while you have them. Like I said, my dad is now deceased, and if I could just grab my dad, I just got chills over me, and just hug him one more time and say, Dad, I thank you. I thank you for all those times that you encouraged me, all those times that you were hard on me. If I could just wrap my arms around him and tell him that, just take your parents and just really tell them each and every day how much you love them, because you never know. We're here one day and the next day we're gone, and that's for everybody. Death has no age. It has no age. So love each other. If you miss that person, you reach out and you tell that person, I miss you. I was watching something with Gabrielle Union and Jada, and they said they didn't know why they fell out. Why are we mad at each other? And I feel like as women, sometimes we get in that way and we're falling out and we don't even know the reason. And then, here's the next day and we're attending this person's funeral. If I could have told that person, here's your flowers while you're still living, So while we're all here, I think we should just go ahead and pass out flowers now. It shouldn't be at somebody's funeral that we're speaking of this person in this way and telling that person, I love you. So to each of you all today, I love you all.
A couple more questions.
and not only people impact your life, like your own lessons impact your life.
Yes.
The mistakes that you make.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes. It's okay.
It truly changes your thinking and all your lessons. I don't regret anything that I've done at all. It has made me,
It's made you that much stronger. It's who you are because you went through all of that. It made you Shatina. If you hadn't went through it, you wouldn't be able to overcome some of the things you are now. You're strong now because of that. Each of us are strong because of something that we went through.
Anybody else want to add on?
I hope nobody don't see this and take this the wrong way. I love my family. I love my parents. Of course, I look up to them. I don't have that one person that has truly impacted my life because I try to do something out of everybody, even children. Children can teach you things. So I try to, and I'm always, my friends tell me, it's okay, ain't nothing, that don't mean nothing. Because I'm like, what that mean? Why did that happen? What is she, what I'm saying? Like, I'm always trying to find something in everybody, in every little thing. Why did that white bird fly? Seriously. Like, I learned from different people. I would have to agree with Chelsea with that as well. I would say someone
now, for instance, my mom, like, she does so much, not only just for me and my brother, but for my nieces. Like, I just watch her on a daily basis. She's gonna make sure that everybody's fed. She's gonna make sure everybody's butt is clean. Like, she's gonna make sure everybody has on nice clothes. Like, she's gonna make sure of all of these things. And you know, she's the one person, not saying that my dad is not, but she's that one person that you know you can call and be like, Mom, I need this or I need that, and she's gonna come running. She's gonna come through. Like, you're gonna look in your account and it's gonna be some coins in your account. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's gonna make sure that everybody is taken care of and nobody's in need of anything.
They might talk junk at first though.
Yeah,
they gonna talk junk, but they gonna do it though.
They gonna see you through. So definitely, I look up to her in that way.
This question is for the mom of the group. You speak about your father's adversities. So, if we can see everything that you've accomplished to this point, what do you think of yourself?
I just know that, you know, my dad would be proud. Just looking back over the years, you know, growing up, and no matter what the accomplishment was, my dad was always proud. He made it a point, and anybody who's watching this who knows my dad knows that if my dad seen you out in the store or wherever it was, a restaurant, he's gonna be like, my baby girl did this, my baby girl did that. He was just one of those people. So like everything that I've been through so far in life, all of my accomplishments, I know that, you know, it was because him and God. I know he's always looking down on me. And then with his legacy that he left behind, one day when I have kids, I can pass that on to them. I was raised in a family, just pretty much growing up, we were pretty much close-knit, and we were all taught to pretty much be there for one another and love on one another, even when things sometimes got rocky. So, you know, I really look back and I appreciate having my dad in my life at that point that got us through some tough times in life. And still to this day, we struggle, but I can just look back on some of the lessons that he's taught me and continue to push forward. Even though sometimes it looks rocky, that road sometimes looks unclear, I can look up and say, you know, God and Dad, I know it was you.
This is the last question, and I need everybody to answer this one. For you all, what's the ultimate goal in life? And we can go around, whichever way you want to go around.
I can kick it off. My ultimate goal in life is to be happy. Happiness in my job, happiness in my relationship, happiness within my family, happiness within my friendship. And if it doesn't bring me happiness, then I don't need it. I'm just in a season in my life, I'm in a time period where I just want to really be close to God and be close to people who genuinely love me and I love them back. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we look at stuff and we're like, you know, this person was my life along the way and then they pretty much vanished. And sometimes I used to really get so deep in my feelings and I'm like, what could I have done to make this person stay? What could I have done differently? I beat myself up about it. But sometimes it's nothing, you know, it's nothing that we can do as people. Sometimes it's just that that season and, you know, our life has ended with that person. It's nothing personal against who we are. But happiness is my ultimate goal in life.
Mine is happiness too. Because at one point in my life, I felt like I was giving too much of me to everybody. And when that cup is empty, you don't have nothing for yourself. You gotta fill you up, and then what's overflowing, that's oozing. You give that to everybody. And my thing was, I was always making sure everybody is straight. But you gotta make sure you straight. You gotta make sure you're fine. Because if you're not okay, and you make sure everybody is okay, eventually you're gonna manifest and you're just gonna break down. So now, you know, I learned that you just got to make sure that you just go take your time to do something. Just go get your toes done or go buy a shirt. Oh, this shirt nice. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go get that. But I'm still a nice person. I'm still make sure everybody's okay, and I still pray for everybody. Make sure everybody will. I hope that we going well, or I hope everybody's going well. I might send the text out like, you know, I hope everybody's okay. Hope that we going well. How you doing? You know, sometimes in life you gotta make sure you're okay.
I want to piggyback off of her. I want to be happy. I want to be successful. I want to be the best mother I could possibly be. And just live my best life. I don't want to have any regrets. I
I don't want to let nothing hold me back.
No regrets, just lessons.
Are we going in order or? Okay. Well, for me, of course, I want to be happy as well, but I want to be able to live a life, a creative life, that when I leave here, I remember that I helped somebody else, that I changed somebody's life with something.
Sound repetitive. But I mean, to be happy as well. So I think everybody's gone through like a dark place in their life, to be just cutting off the negative people, negative relationships, and that energy. Just so it's we have better space now. Like you said, this life,
Yeah. You gotta be happy.
Exactly. Sometimes with me, I can put other people before me. You gotta put yourself first sometimes. So, yeah.
And I would say happiness as well, and then also being able to empower others. And every time I meet somebody, be able to say I've done something for them. I kind of want to play devil's advocate, or maybe even challenge everybody to realize that there's happiness in the moment now. Because you can get what you think is happiness, and then you'll still be looking for something else as happiness, you know? So finding that happiness in every moment, rather than looking for it, living in happiness. But other than that, just being the best mother that I can be. Every lesson that I feel like I didn't get, making sure I still instill those things into Juliana. And every day waking up, trying to do my best, whatever that is, just doing my best at it.
Well, let me get my ultimate goal. Time for me to be petty a little bit. But I want everybody here to support black businesses. Something we talked about earlier. Nah.
I'm just playing.
But nah, this
We'll come to forever.
You right. But yeah, my goal is to just be able to same thing, you know, just give back and know that I help somebody, and also support my people any way I can. If you guys know anybody who wants to share something, let me know. I'm all about it. As long as I know I can help somebody, and I'm just the best father I can be, then at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for. But y'all still need to support black businesses. I appreciate you, ladies. Anybody have anything else they want to say before we get out of here?
We just want to take the time to say thank y'all for coming out and doing this for us. We really, hope that we're able to come together and really get a movement started. Like what we said earlier, the movement My Black is Beautiful is for every woman out there to feel empowered, to feel beautiful, and just to know that we're fearfully and wonderfully made.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, keep chasing dreams. This is Cross the Line Podcast. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.